Thank you for braving the storm. Hopefully, God will come in and say peace to all this rain and we can really enjoy ourselves. But we were going to give this another 5 minutes. We know that some folks, we've got quite a few folks that registered for tonight. So we're going to give it about 5 minutes and then we'll get started. But you are welcome to help yourself to refreshments. So please don't be shy. Go ahead and get something to drink or eat, and we'll be starting in about 5 minutes. Okay. Good evening, good evening. We want to respect everyone's time, and we know that folks are coming in, but we wanted to get started. And number one, just welcome you to our Business Alliance. We try and do these quarterly with the City of Fairburn. The Business Alliance was spearheaded or started by a group of Fairburn business owners, and we help facilitate and ensure that this keeps going, an opportunity, a platform for businesses to talk to other business owners. And not only that, community organizations and community leaders to come together. So on behalf of the City of Fairburn, our Economic Development Department, and our city, we want to thank you for coming out. Whether you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, nonprofit, leader, banker, developer, educator, or community partner, your presence here tonight demonstrates something very important. You believe in Fairburn. And that's not just a colloquialism. Our small businesses are the backbone of our community. So we want to make sure that we speak with you all often and frequently. So as our folks are coming in to sit down, we always start these off. Although it's a structured program, it's informal. We want you to feel comfortable with getting to know each other. So we always start off by introducing and just determining who's in the house, okay? So we'll invite our folks to come in, and we'll just do some general introductions. Say who you are, say your business, and if it's not a business, just say your interest in being here tonight, and then we'll go from there. All right, we'll start off with you, Ms. Smith, one of our Development Authority board members. Okay, just pass that one.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mika Smith. I own Hairloom Salon in the gray building that's across from the theater. I also service alopecia and trichology, which a lot of people hearing about it, but that deals with the hair and scalp and the science. And I'm also a product evaluation for a hair manufacturing company. So I also work with chemists daily with manufacturing products from start to finish.
Oh, we're just introducing ourselves. Mr. Knight.
Okay, welcome everybody. But I'm Homer Knight. I serve on one of the boards, three boards. We help bring businesses and things to the city of Fairburn. And we welcome the committees here that help us to move that tool further.
We're coming back to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christian Jacobs. I am the owner of Jacobs Amplified. I also have a nonprofit, Jacobs Amplified Mission. I'm a former teacher. I'm a children's book author. I've published 9 books. And my nonprofit, we are on a mission to improve literacy for all.
Don't be shy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenya. I am a new entrepreneur. I'm starting a cosmetic body care business. I also bake and do embroidery.
Hi, my name is Michael Anderson. Just like her, I'm a new entrepreneur. I'm into custom clothing creations.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Judy Gaucher, and my business is JG Connects. I am a health scientist, and my business currently operates in being a parent strategist. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy York. I'm the owner of York Energy Solutions. We perform energy conservation activities, mainly focused on lighting conservation, water as well. We've done projects with housing authorities and also provided project management and oversight for implementation for those cost-saving projects for municipalities, universities, schools, and hospitals. We also have a nonprofit arm, York Energy Solutions Foundation, where we have an annual golf tournament which is our signature event to raise funds for high school seniors pursuing an undergraduate degree in STEM. And we've provided over 30,000 scholarships over the past 7 years. And we also have a literacy book on water conservation for the youth.
Excellent.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pinky Sullivan Vernon, and I am the owner of Sullivan Vernon and Associates. Our organization is responsible for personal development and etiquette training. We also do behavior modification.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Loretta Revere Perry. I am co-owner, along with my husband and my son, of Your CBD Store Fairburn, where we focus on health without the high.
Love it. Hello, everyone. I am Nikki Taylor, co-owner of Swing Atlanta down the street on Sonoya. Please come check us out.
Miss Taylor in the house.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brian Thomas. I'm one of the owners of Truck King's Barbecue. If y'all haven't heard, 216 off West Broad Street.
Hello, everybody. My name is Panache. I just came to get some information, see what's going on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Brinson. I'm the Area Director of Sales for Ascent Hospitality. So we are over the Fairburn properties, really the South Fulton properties, the Town Place, the Home 2, as well as the Fairfield Inn and Suites off of Ella Lane behind the old Chick-fil-A. This is my counterpart, Curviana. This is our area sales manager. So we are the area sales team for those hotels. So if you need accommodations or meeting space, we are the people to go to.
Perfect timing.
Thank you for coming out. Wonderful hospitality team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bondine Leonard, and my daughter and I ran a business called Juice Me Too, where we focus on healthy food, natural foods. It's called Juice Me Too, and it was in Ostale. We ran that for 12 years, and we were going to be closing that at the end of this month. So I decided I need to branch out and do something that I always like to do. So I have a business called Fitness Together with Bondine, FTWB Workshops Unlimited. And so I look at personal development of youth and trying to get them to the next level in their lives.
Well, welcome to Fairburn.
Good evening. My name is Candace Bell. I'm here on behalf of my nonprofit, the Talent Enrichment Foundation, where we help youth enrich their talents by helping them overcome financial barriers that are preventing them from doing that. So when there's a financial need, depending on funding, we come in and we help pay for enrollment fees for sports. It doesn't have to be sports. That's just what we've been doing a lot of lately. We pay for physicals if they need cleats. Most of our work has been in the South Fulton area. Last year was really our first year. We helped about 50 students. And I also perform with my band, the Candace Sherrill Experience, unforgettable music for unforgettable events. Thank you.
Excellent. Awesome.
Hello, my name is Shay, and I'm the owner of Labs Arrest. Labs Arrest does phlebotomy and drug testing. So I'm pretty much mobile and go all over Georgia and do wellness screenings as well for corporations.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know which way to turn. My name is Levy Frazier, and I'm a new entrepreneur, and the name of my business is Threadworks. And so I do custom tailoring, I do alterations, and everything is stitched to perfection. So business is located at 101 South Campbellton Road.
How you guys doing? My name is Makez, and I'm brand new owner of Jelani's Junk Removal, and I work with my mom.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samaruel. I'm a kind of new entrepreneur. I'm a landlord. We also, with his father, we have a home remodeling business.
Well, it is wonderful to meet everyone in the room. Give yourselves a hand. So we are going to go on with our program. We have with us that will bring you welcomes and opening remarks, the chairman of our Development Authority Board and our Downtown Development Authority, Chairman Brandon Price-Crum. He's going to come up, followed by, we will have greetings from our South Fulton Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Hooker is in the house, and so she will be greeting you as well.
Thank you, Sylvia. How's everybody doing this evening? Well, happy to see everybody here. Again, my name is Brandon Price-Crum. I am the chairman of the Development Authority and Downtown Development Authority of Fairburn. We have two of the board members here who are also business owners, Ms. Mika Smith and Mr. Homer Knight. But this is an organization and a program that Sylvia Abernathy, who's over economic development, brought to Fairburn, and it is an organization that I think is one that is geared towards making sure that entrepreneurs and business owners here in Fairburn are able to thrive. We work together in collaboration to make sure that you have the resources, you have the people resources, and also other resources to make sure that your business is able to do what it's supposed to do and make sure that you have the customers and satisfaction that you need. But this is also an opportunity to network. You're able to meet other business owners, you're able to connect with each other, and then also do B2B. Make sure that you're working together so that your business can succeed. I also see Ms. Pinky in the back, one of the organizations that we start with, one of the initiatives that we kicked off this year, and it's the inaugural, is the Leadership Fairburn program, and I think it's doing very, very well. But it's an opportunity to develop, and I see a couple of the cohort here, but it's an opportunity to develop the next generation of leaders here in Fairburn so that you are, number one, adept and aware of all of the all of the things that Fairburn does and how it operates from the inside out, but also you're able to think and provide your insight as to some ways that Fairburn can be better. So, you know, those are some of the initiatives that we got so far, and the Development Authority is so happy to be a part of this. I'm sorry I can't stay long with you, but I do appreciate everybody being here, and I want to bring you welcome from the Development Authority. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Now, Chairman rushed all the way from Alabama to be here. He was like, I'm coming. So we really thank him for doing that. He has a very thriving law firm in our city, has come and has been engaged and involved in every community event. When Chairman first came to Fairburn, he said, I want to be involved. He's given back to the community, so we appreciate him for being here. Next, we're going to invite Ms. Kathy Booker. We know that we are only as strong as the teams that we have around us. And we are so thankful for the South Fulton Chamber of Commerce, who has been actively supporting small businesses within the city of Fairburn for years, for decades. So we're happy to welcome Ms. Booker. We will encourage you, if you're not a member of the South Fulton Chamber, please become a part. They help with marketing your businesses, and she'll talk about the litany of services that are provided to you through membership. Membership definitely has its benefits. So Ms. Booker, thank you so much for being here this evening.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, Sylvia. Great evening, everybody. Again, I am Kathy Booker, and I am the new president and CEO of the Greater South Fulton Chamber. And I have with me here Dr. Lisa, who is our director of operations. And so we just want to bring greetings from the chamber. And so it's amazing to hear, like, we've been at Swing. We had an event there not too long ago. And then just hanging out at Fairfield Inn with Rebecca over at, in Fairburn. So we came in and we're ready to just rock and roll, guys. And so we are actually just turned our space into a business development center. So we definitely want to be a resource to you in the community. And so that's our three pillars: community, connections, and commerce. And so we are actually doing those things. So Dr. Lisa is going to share a little bit about some of the services real quick. Sylvia, that's okay? Okay, and but I do wanted to invite you guys to the next event that we do have coming up, which is our restaurant crawl. And so what we are, we are promoting our businesses, our restaurants, and so people can find out all the different, yeah, absolutely. We got you.
right? And so we host a lunch networking event once a month, and so it's coming up, what is the July? Okay. I'm in 2027, y'all, I'm sorry.
I know the feeling.
Okay, I'm in that group. So next Tuesday, is it next Tuesday or Tuesday after? Tuesday after. So it's 11:30 to 12:30, and so I just wanted to share that, but give them a few minutes.
Good evening. Good evening. As Kathy mentioned, I am Dr. Lisa Richardson. I'm the Director of Operations at the Greater South Fulton Chamber. And yes, do come out to the restaurant crawl. It's one of my favorite places to pick up dinner. But our goal at the Greater South Fulton Chamber is to help you thrive in your business, growing together, building together, working together. And so to that end, we offer lots of events, but also workshops, learning, and a place to work. If you want to get out of the restaurant for a little bit, hide from the rest of your team. If you've got work to do and you need to take a call, come by the chamber. Our Business Development Center is there for your use. And we want to see you there because, as our members have said to us, we've created an environment where we feel like we're doing business with people who care about us and people who love us. It's not the same as working from home, but it is a home-like family environment, and we encourage you to take part of that. In addition to our restaurant crawl on July 28th, coming up in August are several important events, like our Mayor's Fast Break Breakfast, the monthly restaurant crawl, a slew of events, and we want you to think about pulling out your golf clubs for our golf tournament, which is taking place in October. There are opportunities to make your business known to all of our members and to the community. So consider putting a few of your advertising dollars towards sponsorship. There's lots of different ways to learn how to make your brand available and aware to the greater community outside of your network.
Last thing, guys. So if you're not following us on social media, please look us up on Facebook, IG, and LinkedIn. We have a lot of great things going on. We have a Real Deal, which you can come in. We have a creator studio in our facility now. You can come in and do your podcast. You can do content creation, whatever it is that you need to do to promote your business. And so we have a deal going on right now to help you to come in to record some promotional pieces and that you can use across all of your social media platforms. All right, and we have Collab Cafe, so you can come in. These things, well, Real Deal does cost, but Collab Cafe is coming up. You can come in and collaborate. You can come in and network. It's a morning networking for coffee and in our cafe. So we do have a business lounge and cafe. And of course, I just mentioned to you about our creative studio where you can come in and record. But also we have hot desks and all different things like that that you can do to work away from home. So I think that's enough for now because I definitely can keep going. But
You'll find us at Greater South Fulton Chamber across all of our platforms.
Visit our website, as Mike has put up, so graciously put up, gsfchamber.com.
Yes. Thank you again. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. And the excitement and passion that you heard tonight is really what they put behind your business. So that's very important. They are not a dormant chamber. They're very active. They're excited about what they're doing. They're excited about promoting your business. More importantly, getting to know you, finding out what your vision plans are and supporting that. So please be a part if you are not already. So we'll move right along. Business retention and recruitment is huge in Fairburn. We on average build about 30 to 40 new businesses, small businesses in our downtown and throughout our city a year. That's on the conservative side. Over 3 years, we've brought close to 200 new businesses to the city of Fairburn. That tells you a couple of things. One of the things that entrepreneurship is here to stay. That is a trend. And it also tells you that the basis of our local economy and a lot of our job force is coming from leaders like yourselves. So in doing that, we want to make sure that we support, that we have programming. Our business alliance, we are only as good as the feedback that we receive from you all. We heard from you all that you wanted to meet, but you also wanted for us to bring experts in the field on key areas and to provide you on a regular basis with resources to help support your businesses. One of the things that we are going to be doing and providing with you after tonight's meeting is a business survey. We ask that you complete that and get it back to us. But guess what else we're launching this year? An awards. So we are having an awards event. So on that survey is also some nominations for businesses in key areas. So we want you to get that information back. We're going to be giving out the Outstanding Business Award, the Community Leader Award, and the People's Choice Award. So in that survey, we'll be providing you with information. Our goal is also through that program to enhance customer service and get feedback from you, the business owners, as well as the public as to how we can enhance our entire ecosystem. When one of us does better, we all do better. So that's what that is about. Our next Business Alliance meeting, it is in your agenda, will be held in September 17. We'll be dealing with some key issues that we want to promote. I know Ms. Mika Smith will be with us that evening. We'll also be dealing with some estate planning issues. A legal team will be here to help with many of the resources that impact small businesses and legacies. And we're also going to be doing some collaboration with Ms. Nikki Taylor in public relations. Now, this is a legendary woman in the field, so y'all have to come out. When we talk about public relations, again, you all are talking about resources. When you have people like Ms. Taylor come, you want to make sure you come back, okay? So that's all coming up in September. What we heard from you as business leaders and community leaders, that access to capital and also grant opportunities were key. So tonight we are very pleased to have, and I'll go over their resumes and their bios a little bit later, but we're very happy to have Mr. Tommy Stapleton and Miss Sandra D. Bethia. Please give them a round of applause. They bring a wealth of information, and you are going to get a lot of golden nuggets that you can take away from you. We are launching a master series, a master class series later this year, and so they will be also a part of that for more intensive. Tonight, we're just doing high level, but we'll be doing a deeper dive soon. Tonight, we have Bank United here as well as you were coming in. Miss Bank United, come on in, sweetheart. She's going to give us a brief greeting, and then we're going to go into our Main Street update. So tell us a little bit about the services that you offer. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Naisha Miller. I am a senior financial specialist at Bank United, and we focus on small businesses. You can also do your personal account with us as well, but our goal is to just connect with other businesses and other personal accounts where we can help you grow. We're mostly in Miami, but we just opened a location here in Atlanta. So we just want to expand and, just welcome you guys to think about us when you want to do a SBA loan, your home mortgage, or anything like that. We are here to help take care of you guys.
Thank you so much for being here. Please give her a round of applause. So we're going to ask LaTanya Amy, our Main Street coordinator, to come up. She's going to give you a brief update on Main Street programs, and then we are going to introduce our speakers. Also, every time that you come, we definitely want to make sure that we partner with ECG, Georgia ECG, and they provide us with all of the latest and greatest in terms of grant and funding opportunities. So in the back, make sure that you bring this or take this with you. Not only does it provide grant opportunities for organizations, but it also, in the back, entrepreneurship. So small business loans and opportunities and partnerships are listed in there, so make sure you take that with you, okay? All right, Miss LaTanya.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaTanya Amy. I'm the Main Street Coordinator for the City of Fairburn. And I just wanted to come to you tonight to talk about a few initiatives that we currently have going. Our first initiative, which is something that we've been working on for a little while and we finally got, is kind of like our baby. It is the Fairburn Passport. So the Fairburn Passport is an initiative where we've created where this lists all of the businesses. Well, this is the first edition is going to be the restaurant edition. So this lists all of the restaurants, both small businesses and the local food chains that we currently have in the city. So with this, it is an initiative to push visitors and residents to patronize the restaurants and the establishments within the city of Fairburn. So it's set up like a passport. And I'm going to pass it around so everyone can see it. So we have two options, a red one and a blue one. So these are going to be passed out inside of the small business restaurants. So they'll be able to have the residents and the shoppers will be able to have one of these. So it's just like a passport. When you patronize one of these restaurants, you receive a stamp, or you can attach your receipt. If there's a stamp that will provide, it's like a sticker that they'll put inside of the slot, just like when you get your passport stamped. Or you can attach your receipt if you forget to get your stamp while you're at the restaurant. So when you visit the local chains, you don't get as many points. You get your stamp. You won't get your stamp. You can attach your but it is to drive the business to y'all mom and pops and our small local owned businesses. So when they patronize, and once you fill up your book, and when you get to the end, just like your passport, we have all your information. You scan your barcode, and when you get all your stamps, you turn it in, and we have some incentives and some I don't want to say prizes, but we do have some incentives and some giveaways once you complete your passport. I'm going to pass them around so you guys can see what they look like. I'll start on this side. You can take a look on the inside. There's a star on the pages of the restaurants, which are going to be your small local businesses. And there's going to be a QR code at the bottom of the page of each restaurant. When you scan that QR code, it will take you to the restaurant's website. So if you need to know where it's at, if you want to place an order, you just scan it and it'll take you directly to that restaurant's page. And with that, you can place your orders. There is a section in there also. We did have a few restaurants like Truck King's Barbecue. They did provide, we have some restaurants that provided some coupons or some discount codes, and the details are attached on the page for the incentives that they provided. So you can take that when you patronize those businesses, and you can utilize those coupon codes as well. So this is the mock-up. We're looking to have the final, everything rolled out within like the next 2 weeks. We'll have them out. You'll have your stamp, you'll have your passport, and we will be doing these throughout the year. So this first one is going to be the restaurant edition. Then we'll have another one where we'll have like our other businesses within the city and do some collaborations and add them all together, restaurants and all the businesses, to where you know what establishments and what businesses are within the city of Fairburn to shop local with those businesses. And if I don't have anyone's business, which I don't think that I have, especially some of the establishments, restaurants, if I don't have your information, you can reach out to me and I'll provide my information. That way, while we're still in this process, I can make an edit and I can get you added for the restaurants. And speaking of that, so if everyone had an opportunity, just to please make sure that you signed in the back. You can, if you have not had an opportunity, you can either sign in or you can scan the barcode to let us know that you were here tonight. Because with that, I am still continuously working on our business directory. And this is just an opportunity to make sure that we have all of the businesses that are here within Fairburn, that we have your information so that the information is loaded into the website. So when people are looking to see what businesses that are located here in Fairburn, that your information is there, your address, your phone number, and your contact information is correct and accurate, so that we can make sure that we have all of the businesses' information listed. So if we do not have your information, if you had not had an opportunity to sign in, please sign in the back or scan the QR code. We do have the Neighborhood Champion Initiative in conjunction with American Express Shop Local. That event starts Saturday, November 28th, and it runs through January 1st, 2027. And with the American Express Shop Local, it was created to help customers support local independent merchants. We will be going out into the establishments. We'll be providing the information for those merchants to let customers know that you are a shop local merchant. They do receive extra points and incentives for shopping local with you, and your businesses are located. Your information is also, because Fairburn is a neighborhood champion initiative, your information is on the American Express site as far as a business in Fairburn as part of the neighborhood champion initiative. That's all that I had. Does anyone have any questions on anything in the passport, the business directory? Yes.
Do we need to stand out of respect, or it's okay? So I was wondering, for like Swing and myself, we are service businesses, but we aren't food. Is it a way to add a QR code where they go and always have the option to see all the businesses? Or if you can add a page, because that's what I'm trying to, I did the QR code because it may be too costly to still list all the businesses in the back.
Well, we will have different editions of the passport. So this first one, which is the inaugural passport, is just going to be the food edition. So we will have another one coming out within like the next 3 months, especially when it's holiday time and things like that, where we'll combine, either have one separate for all the additional business and just combine all of the businesses into one as a Fairburn passport for all of the businesses that are listed within Fairburn. So you will have an opportunity for your business to be profiled. So this one should be dropping first part of August. So probably by October or November, we will have the next one coming out. So when I get that information, I will be coming out into the businesses. Like when I did the food one, I went around until I went to the food business restaurants. I spoke with the owners. I let them know what the initiative was. They provided their feedback, like if they wanted to do a QR code. So I will be stopping by to get your information, your logos and things like that. And you can provide the information that you would like attached for your insert. So you do have an opportunity. It won't be listed in the food one. I know what you're saying. You want to have everything in this first one so they can still know. All the, yes.
Some days you don't want food, some days you don't want Swing, some days, so there needs to be something.
A directory of everything.
We're going to start printing. It still needs to.
Yes.
That's,
Understand.
yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a great suggestion, Ms. Smith, and that's definitely something we can tweak it so that you're fine. We can tweak it so that we can have that full listing. But thank you for that recommendation. We're incorporating to use it, to have it where all of the small businesses, so it will be the mobile, and that's why these meetings are so important. Make sure you share your information. Let us know that you're a mobile company, but we will not we will be including all Fairburn businesses and links to the smaller businesses. While this is for the restaurants, we will have links. That's a great suggestion, where we can just add a QR code that says Fairburn businesses citywide. So we can make sure that you're included. Yeah. Our goal is to get everyone that exposure and get our residents in the habit of shopping local. Our leakage numbers, a leakage number is a number that basically tells you how much of your business is going outside of your community to other areas. Our leakage number is $190 million. So we definitely want to do everything we can to make sure not only are people shopping local, but we are attracting the type of retailers so people can live, work, and shop in their own communities. Yeah. Yep.
That's huge.
Yes. That's a great recommendation. So, and again, that was one of the reasons why Miss Amy was bringing it to the meeting, so we can get that feedback. We're at a stage where we can do that. We can just put the prototype online and have it where you can access it. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
And the thing that the chamber is doing, like on our directory, the way that it's not like your run-of-the-mill directory. So it's almost like a landing page for your business. So, you know, you guys come and we can definitely help direct and guide you in that, in that as well. So the visibility is amazing.
And that's one of the things we want to stress with our businesses. Don't just commit to any one thing. Do it all. And these are services that are relatively, for us, it's free. South Fulton Chamber for a nominal cost. But to Ms. Booker's point, we'll make sure we're promoting you. But then a landing page to put your business and all of your services, oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Did anyone else have any additional? So what we will be doing, we will be placing the passports inside of the businesses will have the passports so they can pass them out when you go, and we will have some actually in the economic department. And if you wanted to come by, we can give that to you as well. And once we do get it released, will we be able to provide information that is ready for public pickup?
Yes.
Have any additional questions? Well, I'll provide my information. My email is lamey, A-M-E-Y, @fairburn.com if anyone has any additional questions, concerns, or need any additional information, and I can provide you any information that you may need. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Amy. We appreciate you and all you do with our Main Street program. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. So we are now at that segment where we are looking forward to hearing from our presenters. Our first presenter is Mr. Tommy Stapleton. I want to say this, one of the greatest challenges for entrepreneurs as we've looked at the surveys that they face is access to capital. We heard that so many times. So tonight, Mr. Stapleton is going to be talking to us about pricing, financial statements, credit, risk, access to capital, all of those things that will help you to go through these uncharted, in some cases, uncharted pathways. But for some of you, you've worked with private banking. You've worked in the capital markets and still have kind of hit your head and want to know how you can break through. So Mr. Tommy Stapleton is the founder and CEO of Power of Your Money, where he equips entrepreneurs with practical financial tools and he will be working with us on an 8-week financing operation program designed to build financial discipline and capital readiness. I want to welcome Mr. Stapleton, and please give him a round of applause, and then we'll have questions at the end. Thank you.
Questions at the end?
He has a great sense of humor.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Give me just a minute here to get all set up. Slide back. Okay. Let's see if I can make that work. Okay. I'm very humbled to be here amongst you. I've been in the, a little bit about myself, I've been in the money business for about 25 years. I am a licensed and registered financial advisor, but as Ms. Sylvia said, I've created a financial platform called the Power of Your Money, where I've offered financial intelligence to families, individuals, and business owners. This particular platform that I introduced to you tonight is strictly for entrepreneurs. I work with, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Russell Center, the Rice Center. I'm a financial coach there with entrepreneurs. Greater Wealth Works is another organization that I work with, coaching entrepreneurs, and I brought this program to those organizations. So what we're going to talk about tonight is being funding ready, being capital ready, right? So there are a lot of entrepreneurs here in the building, so we're at different stages. Who is a new entrepreneur? Raise your hand. Just getting started. 1 to 5 years? 5+ years. So you're at different stages, right? Are you working alone? Are you working by yourself? Are you working with a team? So that part is very important. So tonight I want to show you how financial education can become one of your biggest competitive advantages in your business. I tell my clients as a financial advisor that every dollar that comes into your household has to have a job. If your money does not have a job, then technically it's unemployed. You don't know where it's going, you don't know what it's doing. The same goes with your business, right? Our mission working? So our mission is turning financial knowledge into action, turning access into ownership. The Power of Your Money is a comprehensive financial education platform dedicated to increasing financial capabilities, business success, and wealth creation. This program is a blended learning experience. It's designed for the city of Fairburn entrepreneurs. It's self-paced online, learn on your own schedule. So you can learn at lunch, you can learn at night. Whenever you have time to do this, you will have access to this platform. Practical tools and resources are downloadable, and yes, you will have homework. There is a certificate of completion once you're done. That will give you access to funding opportunities that are in my ecosystem. So you will have access to funding, right? What will you gain from this? Stronger financial discipline, confidence in making business choices, improved cash flow. How many think that revenue equals income equals cash flow? The more money you make, the more customers you have, the more money your business is really healthy. Anybody believe that? You believe that? Okay, is that working for you? Okay. 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 Well, I'm going to help you understand your money a little bit better. Okay. Better banking relationships gives you access to the support you need. Are you working with a bank that is allowing you access to capital? If you're working with the largest, I'll just be very blunt. If you're working with the top 5 banks, Bank of America, Chase, Truist, they say a lot, they're not doing a lot, right? How many in this room can go get a loan from any one of those banks? Bank United might be able to help you. Your local credit union might be able to help you. Bank with an institution that's going to help you further your personal endeavors, but more importantly, your business endeavors. That's very important. Being funding ready, be prepared when opportunity knocks. You might have a large contract, but you don't have the money to fulfill that order. How do you do that? Where do you get the capital to do that, right? How do you scale? Protecting your assets. Do you have the proper insurance? We live in a data age, right? Preparing yourself and protecting yourself from online threats as well as physical threats is very important to your business. So here's the curriculum that I'm offering to the city of Fairburn entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship, is it for you? It's a mindset shift, right? Working for somebody for so long and then going to work for yourself, it's a little different. You're up at 3 o'clock at night wondering, what if, what can, right? Is it for you? Because it's not for everybody. And entrepreneurship, it is a task. It's not for the faint of heart, right? Business blueprint. Once you go through that module and you understand who my customer is, Where are they? What is it going to cost for me to get to them? And more importantly, are they willing to pay me for what I'm offering? Once you can answer those questions, now let's make it legal, right? Understanding your numbers, profit, in revenue, your fixed costs versus variable costs. That matters. I'm going to show you what that really looks like. Cash flow and your financial survival. Revenue does not equal, in most cases, does not equal financial healthiness with your business. Pricing and profitability. A lot of people, when you start your business, I'm going to come in really low with price so I can get people. You know what you just did? You devalued yourself. So it's hard to come back and say, now I've got 100 customers at this price. How do I go up in price? Never shortchange yourself. Your value is your value. Believe your value is your value. You built this company, make it worth it for people to do business with you, right? The best part of this program that I feel is most important is systems and operations. Businesses cannot survive in chaos. If you don't have SOPs, and for those who don't know, standard operating procedures, if you don't know what those are, you don't know how to operate those and put systems in place so your business can operate whether you're there or not. I believe in making money while I'm sleeping. I don't know about you. That's how I set my business up, right? Business credit and capital readiness. When that opportunity comes and a funding opportunity comes, are you ready? Is your personal credit ready? Because you might have to personally guarantee something. They might not give you a loan based on your business, age, how long you've been in business, what your revenue is versus what your profit is. You might not be able to get that funding. Grant opportunities, but you've got to be prepared and ready for that. Protecting what you've built, and I'll just leave that at that. Tax strategies. Have a tax professional, partner, something on your team. And I tell you how I built my team. I could not afford, I have an entire C-suite, but I couldn't afford any of these people. So what I did, my thought was, what I'm building, it's too big, it's bigger than what I can obtain by myself. So I decided to bring people in, the partners that I needed, but I couldn't afford them. But I gave them equity in my business. I do not own 100% of my business, and I'm proud to say that. Because I'm not of the mindset that I want to be the leader, 100% owner of a $100,000 revenue producing company. I would rather have the controlling interest of a multi-million-dollar operation. That's where my mind is. So when I can't do it by myself, so I brought in the people that I needed to get me where I needed to get, but I had to give them something for it. So we all are on the same mindset and for the common goal. Investing as an entrepreneur. Most people don't think that you can actually open up an investment account in your business name. What does that do for you? Your valuation just shot up. Your business is now more valuable. Most people don't even know that there is an industry. All they do is go around and buy businesses. They look for businesses to buy. So I'm going to ask everybody in this room, as you build your business, whether you're going to sell it or not, build it to sell. Build the Lamborghini so that you can hand somebody the keys and an owner's manual and walk away. Right? You say, well, I'm building it for my son, my daughter. I can tell you right now, they don't want it. It sounds cool, right? Oh, my God, I have a daughter, and she has no interest. My wife is a financial advisor. We're both financial advisors. She has no interest in any of it. And I'm like, Dylan, this thing's going to be like worth $100 million? Nah, I don't want to do any of that. And if you think your kids want it, they really don't, right? Because now first they're going to turn out to be employees, and now, because you're going to own it one day. As soon as they get the opportunity, they're going to sell it and run, right? So build it to sell because you just don't know, right? And lastly, EBITDA. How many of you know what that term means? EBITDA. My man, tell me what it is. Okay? If you own a business, you need to know that term. That tells you how healthy financially your company is. That is the true number of how much money you're making. You can say, oh, I brought in $20,000 a month. What's your EBITDA? Well, I don't. You got operating costs, you got taxes, you got depreciation, you got this that you don't even think about, right? Enterprise value. Those that have a business over that are just not starting, how many have built a community? Thank you. None of us have built a community? That's a revenue stream that you're leaving out. Anybody that you come in contact with that is interested in your business, need a name and an email. Because you know what you can do later? You can sell them cookies, whatever. Because now you've got a community, and they will be brand ambassadors for you. You know what that does for your business? It gives you a better MRR and ARR. That's monthly recurring revenue and annual recurring revenue. That's what investors look for. So if you're looking for an investor to come invest your business, the first question they're going to ask you, what's your MRR? But if you don't have a community that's steady pouring in money, it could be $5 here, $1 here, 50 cents there. That's monthly recurring revenue. So at a glance, I've talked about what this course is about. Entrepreneurial mindset. Do you have a vision? Do you have a mission? What problem are you solving? Where are they? How do you get to them? And will they pay me for what I'm doing? P&L, cash flow, break even, know your numbers. Again, the most thing I can stress is systems operation. Building a business without structure is chaos. Good luck with that. Knowing your EBITDA. Along with this course, with Ms. Sylvia, we have put in some masterclass workshops that we will bring in entrepreneurs that have done it and are doing it that you can engage with and talk to and interact and ask questions that you need to understand, what is my next move? What's the next step, right? So the first group of workshops will cover modules 1 through 5. The second will cover modules 6 through 11 to really get into what we're doing, how we're doing it, and who do we need to talk to. And you also have access to these subject matter experts and professionals after we get done. So what does the participant receive? Individual platform access with tracking, complete entrepreneurial-focused curriculum, interactive modules, downloadable worksheets and business resources. Like I said, you will have homework. 2 live masterclass workshops, a certificate of completion, which gets you to my funding ecosystem. I believe there's a selection of entrepreneurs. I don't know how you want to do this, Sylvia, but there are a selection of entrepreneurs that will be invited into this platform. But the goal here is to strengthen the local entrepreneurial ecosystem here in the city of Fairburn. Help grow, start, and sustain businesses, build financially resilient enterprises, create jobs. Here's the key indicators, key KPIs that I look for. How many million-dollar businesses are we producing in the city of Fairburn? She just told you the leaking numbers. The money's here. Are we obtaining it? How many employees of those million-dollar businesses, how many employees have we hired? How many people have we given jobs? And thirdly, what is the overall economic impact to the city of Fairburn? That's what we're here to impact. You will be equipped with better informed decisions, improved profitability and cash flow, better, stronger credit profiles, both personally and professionally, prepare for funding opportunities, develop sustainable growth strategies, and build long-term personal and business wealth, because you can build wealth through your business. Let's build together. Your seat's at the table. All you got to do is go get it. The power of your money in the city of Fairburn builds stronger local businesses, more importantly, a stronger local economy, which then builds a stronger local community. My name's Tommy Stapleton. Thank you for your time. Yeah, you got questions? Oh, I didn't know we were doing that. Okay, cool.
Is everyone okay with holding on to your questions for now and then questions at the end? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Tony.
you.
We appreciate you.
You?
So we appreciate Mr. Stapleton. He helps entrepreneurs all throughout the world maximize their opportunities, their investment strategies, as well as their access. So we look forward to working with him. We are going to stay tuned. We are going to have an 8-week program that will just nuts and bolts. A lot of that information we can't do in one night. We can't pack in access to capital in 40 minutes, but we can let you know who we are going to be connecting you with and those resources, and let you and then get you on that road. Sandra Bethia we're so happy to have her this evening. She is the CEO of Strategic Impact Consulting. She is the founder and chief executive officer of Strategic Impact Consulting, a management consulting firm dedicated to helping businesses, nonprofits, and public sector entities strengthen organizational capacity, secure funding, and achieve sustainable growth. With more than 2 decades of leadership and consulting experience, she has successfully guided organizations in strategic planning, grant and contract development, program management, organizational assessment, and performance evaluation. She's recognized for her collaborative leadership style and results-driven approach. Sandra has helped clients secure millions of dollars in competitive grant funding, millions of dollars in competitive grant funding, while building the operational systems necessary to sustain long-term success. Her expertise spans federal, state, local, and private foundation funding with a focus on aligning organizational mission, measurable outcomes, and community impact. As a trusted advisor, Sandra works with executive leadership, governing boards, municipalities, educational institutions, and community-based organizations to develop innovative strategies that strengthen organizational effectiveness. One of the things, she has her book here tonight. She is so passionate about grants. And one of the things that I love is that she doesn't say it's if I get a grant, it's when. So she wants to make sure that everyone here, their takeaway tonight, have that grant funding, no matter whether it's retail, restaurants, whatever you're doing, have that in your bandwidth in terms of and resources. So without further ado, Ms. Sandra Bethia.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sylvia, for that amazing introduction. I appreciate it. And I also want to thank the City of Fairburn and the leadership team for putting together this amazing event. And I want to thank each of you for creating space to be here. And so whether you're here to learn more about how to get to the bag or how to get to other people's money, both ends can be a good strategy, right? I just want to thank you for creating space to come together. And from my perspective, you've already created a competitive edge. And let me tell you why? Because you're coming together to learn how to do it, and you're not trying to do it by yourself. So I am going to just say that learning how to work as a community is one of the most strategic ways to do it. And I'm so grateful for our city for understanding that and creating space for us to come together, to work together collectively, to not only get to the resources, which ain't a bad thing. There's no judgment if that's what you're here for, how to get to the money, but also how to get to the impact that we want to change for our community. And so my presentation is going to be a both-end strategy, how to get to the bag, and then how to get to the impact, okay? And so before I get started and share with you about myself, I just want to know who's in the room. A little bit more detail. I know everybody's done their introductions. I'll share a little bit about myself. I'll put my screen.
This is who I am. It's a long introduction there, all of my background. Ms. Sylvia has already told you a little bit about me, and I'll share a little bit more about my context because that'll matter. But just by a show of hands, how many people are in the room that already has a successful nonprofit, and that means you've already been able to secure resources, funding? How many, show of hands? Okay, we got 1, 2, okay. And then how many people are in the room are starting a nonprofit and you want to know how to create a structure and a system to help you get to the resources? Okay, we got 3, okay. And how many of you are trying to figure out if starting a nonprofit is for you and if this is the path you want to go down? Is there anybody in the room like that? Okay, we got a lot of. And then my 4th question is, how many business owners are interested in understanding how you can collaborate or work effectively with nonprofit, even if you're okay? Because wow, very good, I love that. So we're gonna try and get to all of that in today. And so, again, thank you so much for creating time here. I have so much information I want to share with you, and I promise you, I want to make sure this session is worth your time and you all leave here with information that you can use moving forward. And so forgive me if I'm speeding up a little bit and talking fast, but I do want to share a little bit more context about my background because I believe that matters, and it matters because how I started in the nonprofit business, it has set the stage for everything I do. And yeah, it's been over 25 years I've been in this field, so it's been a long time. And you may not be able to tell it because I've been here in Georgia. Next year will be 20 years, but I'm from California, right, LA. So my experience started in, okay, we got another Cali girl. Okay, I love it. Thank you. So yeah, I'm from Los Angeles, California. And so my experience started in a city called Riverside. And I worked with a collaborative partnership between nonprofit called Inland Agency, and they work with the American Cancer Society. And these two, in this kind of context is helpful because a lot of times we don't think about these type of partnerships. These two nonprofits came together, created a collaboration, and they hired me, new to the nonprofit world. Half of my day I spent doing research, helping, just administrative tasks. And the other half, and that was when I worked with the Inland Agency factor, and then the other half of my day I spent working at the American Cancer Society, answering calls from women going through cancer. And a lot of times they just needed somebody to talk to. Oftentimes they needed access to resources. They needed help getting back and forth to their doctor's appointment. So that context is really important because I understood how important this work is in the nonprofit world. I, stayed within that field for nonprofit for almost 10 years, grew within the organization, did a lot of work, even started helping doctors to understand how, at first I was going out, go to churches, help people understand why they should work with their doctors, get checkups and stuff. And then we started looking at the data and realized, maybe the doctors are the problem because you start looking at they wasn't, referring people for services. So we then started, we got a grant to work with the doctors to teach them how to not be, how to be and make sure that they were much more generous with their referrals and everything, much more stable with that. And so then the opportunity came for a program that California was building where they wanted to make sure that all kids 0 to 5 had an opportunity to enter and succeed in school. And they used the resources for people who smoke. So if you smoke cigarettes, you got an extra tax, and California used that resource to make sure children that age go to school. And so it was called First 5 San Bernardino. So it was my opportunity to go from learning how to utilize resources to become the funder. I went from asking for resources to becoming the funder. And I did that for 10 years. And when I tell y'all what I used, because it was government related, right? It was run by the county, but we gave out over $20 million annually. So I had the opportunity to understand what it meant, some of the system issues, right? And there's a lot I can tell you about what I learned, but we don't have as much time here, but I have good news. There'll be opportunities for us to go into all those details. But what I do want to share is that before DEI was even a thing, we understand how important it was to have access to connections, have access to information, have access to structure and systems. And we created that within the organization and offer
pre-webinars and trainings before we even opened up the grant opportunity, and the amount of change we saw in the people we gave resources to changed significantly just because we gave them a competitive chance to really structure their organizations. Because a lot of nonprofit leaders, they're like, well, I just hired a grant writer and they did this and that. So my first T, you might want to take this down because it's probably not on a PowerPoint, is that no one can tell your story better than you can. You cannot outsource. And then grants, it's storytelling. Point blank, period. Okay, a little math, a little number, but it's storytelling. And so you can't outsource it. So you can work with, and I do grants, I write them too, but you have to be involved in that process because it's your story, it's your vision, it's your mission, and work with them to tell that story. And so then, after I did that for 10 years, learned so much, I moved here to Georgia, and I worked for MARTA for 10 years, and then I worked from a structural perspective, working with their police department, helping them to get resources to keep our city safe. And then most recently, worked with Georgia State University. They have a nonprofit. Did you guys know that? Georgia State has a nonprofit called the NIST, and they work to make sure that kids are students, particularly minority students, when they go to college, the data was showing that we just don't have the same graduation rate. So and then we had this leader at Georgia State that was like, well, maybe the student is not the problem. Maybe the problem is the structure. So now they get millions of dollars to work with, as a nonprofit organization, to work with universities to help them create and address the structural issues. And they brought me in to help them to do, they gave out a lot of sub-grant awards with a lot of our HBCU client schools, and I helped to oversee that. And in between that time, I also have had the opportunity to work with a lot of foundations. And don't judge me, because I am probably that person that has been the one that said no to your grant application. And you might talk to somebody at an organization and ask for a grant, and I'm the one that they have reviewed a grant and say, is this a go or no go? And so I might be the reason why you haven't got funded. So I'm just gonna keep it honest. I have had those roles and quite extensively, but a lot of foundations, I've worked with several, not a lot, let me not say a lot, but I've worked with a number of foundations that because of my experience and expertise, and because I have an outcomes-driven approach, what they'll do is I'll go in and they'll hire me as a coordinator working with their team, and then I'll go out and work with the people they give money to make sure they can get a return on their investment, to make sure that they're really outcomes focused. So I wanted to share that because the background, it started in the nonprofit sector, working as a collaborative with 2 different nonprofits, and then I've worked in different industries. But you'll see that a lot of what I'm talking about today is really going to be about how we can, not yet. She wants to give you my handout. I'm like, no, I don't want y'all to have the sauce just yet. I want to go through it first. Okay, and so that's a lot about me. And so I think one of the things, we're going to go through these slides really quick to talk about the structure of grants, the difference between grants and contracts, because I work with both. And then I'm going to give you some real sauce, some information you can use that give you the competitive advantage. And if you feel like you ain't got that by the end of this training, you come up to me and be like, girl, you did not deliver on your promise. And then I'll talk to you. But okay, so here, that's kind of hard for me to see. I got a copy of it here. Let me see what I want to say here for this slide here. Like I said, we're going to go through these really quick. This is just talking about what grants are and why funding matters, and funding options, availability. And, grants, it is a way to get to resources. I am a little concerned about the number of social media accounts that are out there now talking about grants and making it seem like it's so easy, and it's not about that. So if you are in the grants business because you're more concerned about, it's a way to get to someone else's resources, that's probably not the right reason. Grants are really about making a difference, creating an outcome, and if you're not thinking about it from that perspective, you're going to probably have a hard go at it. So I'm here to tell you that it's not as easy as you see on social media accounts like, these are these grants available today, go apply for it. The structure does not work like that at all, and I'm going to save you a lot of time and energy by showing you how the structure really works. And grant funding, when you have access to it, it can be quite
helpful with helping you to make a difference, create programs, create systems. You can get to the resources, but I have not heard not one nonprofit owner say that they've gotten rich because they had owned a nonprofit. So they use grants, because if you're doing it right, you're reinvesting that money back into the community, and actually you're expected to do that. It's not really for you to like become rich off of, right? But you can make a significant impact if you're doing it right. And then, so that's what grants are about. And then here, you guys are gonna get a copy of this presentation, so I'm going through it really fast, but grants versus contracts. You know, grants, again, it's monies to help provide a service, and when you're dealing with contracts, and I really want to help you understand the difference between grants and contracts, but more importantly, how to use them collaboratively. It doesn't have to be an either-or strategy. If you're doing it right, it's a both-and strategy. And contracts is really you're, getting paid to actually, it's not more about the service. It's also about, like, you're actually getting paid to deliver something, specific goods or services, right? Versus with a grant, it's more about the outcomes based off of your mission. And so they're really hiring you to do something. So let's see here. There's a part I'm trying to get to, so I'm moving kind of fast. But again, you guys are going to get this handout. And so the benefits of a nonprofit. Who in here still don't understand the benefits of a nonprofit? Anybody wondering about that? Okay, that's good. Most people know. It can, the tax benefits are really good. You got the business benefits or owners, but the main benefits is your ability to create community and to generate impact. That's from my perspective. So here's a really interesting fact, the funding gap. This is one of the things that Ms. Sylvia asked me to address, because 80% of people who write proposals have a failure rate, and that's a lot. And who can tell me in the room from your perspective why you think that might be? Anybody want to say? No, don't look at the cheat sheet. What do you guys think is the reason the funding, the rate is at 80% of failure? Storytelling? Oh. I love that. That's really good. Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, we got some experts in the room. These are all good. And a lot of people think, the system, the structure, and those are interesting areas too, why grants are not done. But because the main reason is not because it's not a strong vision or you don't have a good idea, it's because you have the lack of readiness and structure, And I love what you said about storytelling. That is amazing, because storytelling is a major part of it, right? And then one of the things that I want to add here, I was doing that I think is really significant that a lot of people are not aware of. So while you have 80% of people who write proposals that are not funded, did you know that under 10% of funds are, it's less than 10% of funds that are awarded to Black-owned nonprofits? I know. Less than 10%. Did you guys know that? We in this field know that. Mm-hmm. And so that is a high rate. And so what we want to do is create processes and structures that help us to address that. And that's a system problem, it's a structure problem, but it's also one of the things that we are not doing that a lot of organizations are doing is we don't have access to the resources, we don't have access to the knowledge, we don't have access to the connections. Because a lot of nonprofits that I've worked with, once they get connected with you, the great thing about it, they usually stay connected with you for year after year, right? So connections are a really important thing. And so now we're going to get to my favorite part of the presentation. This is what my entire book is based on. We've talked about what the nonprofit is, what you need to be doing, some of the challenges with nonprofits, but the main thing is I want to give you some sauce about how to be effective and more competitive at helping to address that rate of less than 2% of Black-owned businesses getting funding. And that is the SOUL method. This is my method I created. It's in my book, The Grants Development Blueprint. And y'all can get a copy of this today. I'm giving it up for
$5 discount on them. And so I did bring copies of it, and you'll get way more details in here about the structure. But the SOUL method is your blueprint for getting funding. The SOUL method is strategy, outcomes, unity, and legacy. Okay? If you create a SOUL method in your organization and you use this as your framework, you're going to create a competitive advantage. And so what do we mean by strategy? We mean how you're planning and how well does your strategy align with the goals and the realistic approaches of the person you're asking for funding for. And one of the things I talk about with strategy, a lot of people, let's see what grants are out there available. The first thing you need to know is what organization, what foundations really align with my mission and vision, and you want to target them. And then you want to stalk them. You want to, where will they be? Who are their key players? How do I connect with them? I promise you, if you don't know people in the room, half of the time when we were looking at grants, one of the major differences as a funder, we'd have a whole committee of people. We funded in different areas, and we had people reviewing applications. First thing, if you didn't have your structure in place, you didn't even get past the first step. Second thing is, it made such a huge difference to have somebody in the room that says, yeah, I've heard of that organization. I'm aware of their work. That makes a huge difference. It's not always possible, but I promise you, it's a lot of work to do. So you want to be strategic about identifying the organizations that align with your mission and vision, and then create those relationships with them. You know, it's okay to chase other grants and stuff, but I promise you, that strategy will get you much further. And then you want to, the outcomes. This is my favorite part because I'm a numbers girl, and you really want to be clear about how you can defining success. And then unity is another important area. I'm just going to be honest with you. Our community, this is an area where there's a significant amount of growth needed. It is very hard for us to understand how to come together, work collaboratively, particularly from a business perspective. But don't worry, I got you with that. We're working with the city to create some opportunities where we can work together collaboratively. This is the best way that we change those statistics about our communities not having access to resources, is by working together. I promise you, if we figure that out, we give ourselves more of a competitive advantage. And when I say working together, that can be a for-profit working with a nonprofit. That can be two nonprofits working together. It can look a multiple of different ways. And so don't limit to yourself how to do that. But then you do need to have strategies in place to protect your ideas, your vision, and your and then all of your interests, right? And then so you have legacy. This is my favorite area. I said that about all of them, right? I like the whole SOUL method. I was like, every time I got to I was like, this is my favorite. And so legacy is really about creating a structure that you can leave to someone else that, you know, once you're gone, it will continue to be here. Those services, those resources, they will continue to be in place. So legacy is a major component of what you want to do. So my SOUL method, strategy, outcomes, unity, legacy. And key components of a successful grant. Oh, before I get there, I'm going to go back to SOUL method, because this is the T that'll also change everything. I don't even have a slide for it. But as a funder, there's 3 questions we ask about every grant we're reviewing. Okay, somebody tell me, as they're a funder, what is one of the questions you might be asking if you're reviewing grants and deciding who's going to get your money? Who can tell me? Let's hear. What y'all think? Business plan? Demographics? Okay, this is good, very specific, okay. Oh, that's really good. All of those was good, but that was great, very good. Okay, so I'm going to break this down to you. This has really guided me ever since I worked as a funder and learned this strategy. And I promise you, whether they have this structure in place at an official level, these are the 3 questions everybody is asking in the system all funders have in place. The first is, the 3 questions they want to ask is, what is it I'm buying? What are you selling to me? What type of services are you selling? Who's impacted by it? What's the area? You said the area location. What is I'm buying? So sometimes, and this is where your compelling story, and you share your story and be able to talk about that, that is important. So what is it I'm buying? What's the chances am I going to get it is the second question. So what type of history do you have? What's your resume? Who are your partners? What type of collaborations do you have? Is there a track record with this? Like, what's the chances I'm going to get it? You know, who are on your team members, right? Do they have expertise in this area? Are you just building something from scratch? So a lot of nonprofits, they don't like me sharing with them with this because it's like, you got to find a way to have an impact even without the grant. You got to figure out a way to go out there and show that you're going to be impactful. Then you ask for money. Why would I invest in you? And there's no evidence, right? So, and there's ways to do that. There's ways to go out there and start demonstrating impact, creating collaborations without having the resources first. Because if you don't have, and you can show the chances of getting it based off of your past history in other areas. There's ways to do that, don't get me wrong. But that's a really important question. And the more you can show that you've already made some progress in an area you're looking for funding in, the better your chances are going to be. Okay, and y'all not ready for the last question. This one right here is the one that, you know, everybody gets caught up on this one because no nonprofit is thinking about it. Okay, so the first one is, what am I buying? The second one is, what's the chances I'm going to get it? And the third question we ask as a funder is this the best use of my money? And guess what? This process is so competitive. And so when you ask, is this the best use of my money? They're looking at 50 other, or not even 50, sometimes hundreds of other applications. And they, you know, and everybody feels like they got the best idea. What they need is what's more important for the system. So have you created a compelling argument to help them to understand that this is going to deliver results and impact, and this is where they should invest their money is, because it is an investment. And then oftentimes nonprofits, foundations, they have boards. And so the staff persons, I've had to be on that end, they got to go to their board every year and report to them how these investments are working out. What's happened, what type of changes are we seeing, and if not, they got to be able to explain why they haven't seen no changes. So you got, what is it I'm buying? What's the chances is this the best use of our money, and what the chances are I'm going to get it? If you learn how to really structure with those three questions in mind and answer from the perspective of an organization, a funder, you're going to give yourself much more of a competitive chance, because that's how we think as funders and as with the foundations I've worked with. And then there was one other thing I was going to tell you about that. I told you about making sure you have a compelling story. That part is important too. So I think that those three things are so important when looking at it. So key components of your, what does that say up there? Successful, thank you. I can't even remember one thing. Okay, key components of a successful application. Okay, I'm gonna look here at my notes because I can't read that far up there. And then key components of a successful application is clear objectives and strategy, right? You gotta have defined, measurable outcomes. Like, I don't know if I said enough about outcomes, but I believe in starting with the end in mind. If you really start with your outcomes, how many people are you gonna be impacting? How many communities are you impacting? What does that impact look like? How are you gonna measure it, right? So starting with the end in mind is a really important one. Because that's part of you telling your compelling story, right? And then collaborations and partnerships. Again, I can't stress this enough about how many organizations are much more successful because they have collaborative partnerships. Because as a funder, like, I can invest in you as a business owner, but if I know that you're also working with one or two other nonprofits, for-profits, other organizations, and they're investing, they have access to either capital or clients that may be a part of it. This doesn't feel so much like an opportunity where it's going to be an issue, right? So like that collaboration is something that I would really highly encourage you to consider. And I know it's hard. It's hard to find strong collaborative partnerships, but it is possible. And I promise you, that's how you give yourself a competitive edge in this field. And then sustainability and legacy. So I didn't say enough about the sustainability part when I was talking about the legacy part. Here, the biggest thing you can do for a funder, think about like somebody working for a foundation and they're on a team, they've recommended you to their board for funding, they've given you $5 million to go do your amazing thing. And then you come back and as a result of that investment, you were able to get $5 million more, so now, think about, it's not just, and then they invest in you, and it's not just about the outcomes you've reached. That's good too. First get to the outcomes. But if you're able to then scale that investment and to get other funders to invest in you, that's strategy. That's really thinking about sustainability, right? And so there's nothing greater. That was probably my greatest outcome working as the funder, is understanding how the tools I put in place, helping people who didn't have access to then go out, because we taught them the strategies, they were able to then go out and get significantly more funding. It wasn't just the funding they got from us. It was the funding they were able to get because now they had systems and structures in place. And so that's the biggest win, is being able to secure additional funding. So getting one grant is not enough, but just think about being able to multiply that. That's how you really sustain it. And then that leads to sustainability, right? Now you have a plan in place that can go for a longer period of time. Okay, grant writing best practices. I'm going to go through this real quick because, again, you'll have the handout. But clear, concise language, align with funder priorities. That's a major one, like how well you align with the funder priorities, provide evidence and data. How many of you understand the importance of data? Like, that's so significant. AI is a great tool for that now, so it's not as hard to come by. And then proofread and follow guidelines. One of the things that most people don't know is that sometimes it's like, I'm just going to focus on getting in 30 grant applications this month, and you're not spending their time and making sure they're quality, that they're aligned with the organization you're applying for, that you've done everything you can to make those connections. It's better to do great proposal submission versus quantity. I'm going to always have that perspective. And the reason is because oftentimes, most of the organizations that submit their grants, they never get past the first phase, because the first phase is somebody looking at the organization is like, do they check all the boxes? And most of you don't check all the boxes. You don't have the systems in place, you don't have the structures in place, you haven't read the requirements well enough, you haven't addressed the questions they have. And so it never even gets to the reviewers of your application because you're like out of the way now because your structure is not in place. So it requires you to be very intentional about putting it together. And so proofreading and following the guidelines is really important, aligning it, right? And so that's really important. So here's common pitfalls that you might see with writing grants, right? So I think someone said earlier, budget justification, that can be weak. Missing outcomes, we talked about that. Lack of readiness. This is like, you don't have your structure in place. There's no bylaws. There's no, your financial statements are outdated. You don't show the structure and what's happening in that system. And so we'll be able to help with that. And then this is the one I think most people do. They do generic proposals. We talked about that. I'm going to create this proposal template, then I'm going to send it to, you're just wasting your time and everybody else's time with that. I mean, quantity is not the best measure here. And then waiting too late to prepare, that can be an issue. And then ignoring the funding requirements. So that's why I'm encouraging you to really understand the organization, the foundation you're submitting to. And I would say, I probably would identify like my top 30, foundations that really align with my vision and mission. And I would, again, stalk them. And then if there's others come up, great. But they would be who would get my focus, who I would, go, if they're offering a training seminar, I would go to those. Those are really helpful. Any type of training or informational session they do before the pre-award process, those are really helpful. And then building a compelling case. Okay, a compelling case for support bridges the gap between your vision and what the funder priorities are. And so I talked a little bit about the importance of storytelling, and you know, you need clear need and impact, and then align with the funder's goal. And then here, this is where your proposal can go from good to great, where you're being strategic with it, right? So when you get to this level of it, the proposal is not going to look the same as any other proposal you submitted, because it's going to be unique for this opportunity. And the more you can align it, remember I said, what is I'm buying? Is this the best use of my money? You get it? So, you know, and what's the chances of success? This is the elements that you want to look at to answer those questions. Okay, and then you have budget development and financial planning. You want to prepare realistic budgets, you know. You want to have financial forecasting, align costs with activities. This is a major one because a lot of times, you know, especially if you're starting off as a nonprofit, you're looking at the costs associated with nonprofit. And so you have to be really structured with what you're doing, because again, they're giving you resources and this is the best use of their money. And so the advice here is going to be, a lot of times, you know, most of our salaries, most of our expenses is at salaries. We're paying for people to come in and do the work, right? And so if I'm a foundation, what am I wondering? If 80% of your income is to pay for salaries for employees, how much of it's going to the community? That balance needs to be there. That's a tough one, but please be sure to keep that in mind as you're developing your structure. So maybe you start off smaller. You don't have as many staff persons. Maybe you start off where you're, you know, but like we're going to always compare your costs as far as from a salaries perspective to what's actually going to the community, helping, and what's going to generate impact. Because oftentimes, just because the employees is not by themselves generating impact, you know, unless they're a doctor or something, I don't know. But there might be some cases where that's the case, but most of the time, the employees are not generating impact, right? And so you want to show, you know, yeah, we're giving out these number of, you know, boxes of food. We want to show actually creating these community events where people be able to come together, and this is why we're organizing it. You know, you want to be able to show the activity that's in the resources and how that's being impacted toward them. I'd say, you know, even for like anything more than 40% in a budget that's that's too high. That's what I would say. That's even high, but that's the highest I would go with salaries, if that makes sense. You want to have most of your salary going to the services and the people that you're helping, okay? Some people are like, what? I need people. Yeah, that's a hard one, but you got to figure it out. And then here we talk about the timeline and project management. You know, you have your planning phase, your application phase, your implementation phase, and then your reporting phase. These are the 4 phases that you have. And then, you know, evaluation and reporting requirements. You know, this is a bigger one because oftentimes you get your grant and you're like, I got the money. And you're all excited. And then the hardest part comes because you know what? So many people, they never get a second grant because you're not able to deliver on the first grant. The worst thing you can do is get resources from a funder and not be in a position to deliver on what you said. And there's a lot of organizations, they get it, and then they, you know, oh, we didn't plan it right. We weren't structured right. We have all these other things we didn't think about. It's life, right? You know, it happens to all businesses. But the worst thing you want to do is someone give you opportunity, even if it's a small investment in your organization, $5,000, $1,000, you want to optimize that because those are the investors that, okay, now I can give you more resources. We're going to continue to invest in you. But an organization is tough. They'll be able to see your data. If you had an investment and nothing happened with it, you might want to just shut down and start over again. That's probably the worst thing. I mean, just like restart. That's kind of like the best thing. Sorry, that was harsh. Okay, sorry. I'm just being honest.
Okay. It's like, so you really want to make sure you have a structure in place before you even apply. And we haven't talked about all the things that require your structure, but don't apply without a structure. And the good news is we have a handout that talks about a checklist of things you should have in place before you even begin submitting the grant. So we're going to share that in just a minute, right? And then if you really want to know the tea, you do what? Get a copy of my book. Okay. And then so here we talk about next steps and action plan, identify funding opportunities, develop your SOL strategy. Okay, y'all, who can tell me the SOL strategy? Anybody? Anybody remember? Yana? We've been together for like almost a, Yana?
Outcome.
Okay, yes. So I promise you, if you just resonate with that and think about that, use that, and then with the handout, we're going to give you a copy of this slide deck. Think about that, the SOL strategy, because that's going to make all the difference in the world as you're preparing to move forward. Build strategic partnerships outside of the SOL strategy. Strategic partnerships is key. I say, how many in here already have good partnerships in place? Don't be honest, okay? Oh, okay. So if you have a for-profit business or a nonprofit, yes, you need to have partnerships in place. So be thinking about what you can do. Think about what the key elements that are preventing you from doing that is, and put that in place, okay? And then one of the things I just don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it. So when I started, after I wrote the book, I've been doing more training sessions, right? And so I was like, ooh, I can't just be telling people what to do. I have to do it. So I created the Strategic Impact Collective. I'm going to launch this in September. And the purpose of this is to create a community where people can get together, nonprofits, for-profits, anybody interested in getting their contracts or grants. And it's to create a collective where you'll get education and training about grants, and you'll get templates and all of that. You'll get feedback from me about grants before you submit them. You'll have all of these resources available, but you'll get a chance to connect with other people, and I'm going to help us to learn how to work together as a team to do that. So I want to invite you to join the Strategic Impact Collective. It's only like $49 per month. And so it's a really good price, and it allows you to create a community. And I'm just launching this, like I said, in September. So it's going to be a new project I'm offering, and it's to help people to work through the barriers they have with finding community, people who they can collaborate with, and how to do that in a way that's impactful and it doesn't, mess up your own business model. So, if you're interested in that, let me know. The link is up there for the Strategic Impact Collective. And y'all, okay, and here's for the last question. Be honest. If you feel like you got something that can be valuable to help you in your for-profit or nonprofit business, let me see your hand. Okay. If you like, well, Sandra, you did not deliver on what you said. Okay, very good. Thank you guys so much for your time and your energy, and thank you for your service in all of the different businesses you're doing. We really appreciate that, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So we got all the things, yeah?
Thank you. Let's give Ms. Sandra an applause and thank her. So a couple of things that we're going to be passing out. Of course, a copy of the presentation, but Ms. Sandra also put together a grant checklist. And then we also have ECG has a funding book. We pretty much want to provide this to our businesses on a monthly basis. These are available grants and from July to August, excuse me. The other thing is I've got Elise. She must have gotten caught in traffic. She's with Clear Channel. One of the things that we do with our Business Alliance is we help promote our businesses. ATL Magazine, we have a partnership with them, so at the very least, when you're a new business in Fairburn, at no cost to you, we promote we get you in the book. What you do from there is up to you in terms of additional ads. But Clear Channel is one of our partners as well, and I just want her to come up and just say hello. She also provides help and resources to businesses, small businesses, definitely on your campaigns, your promotions. You don't always have to have the billboard. Some of our attorneys have billboards, but if you have other, she has other avenues in which you may market your business. So Elise, come and say hello real quickly, and then we're going to do questions if there are any questions for our presenters.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. I'll be honest, this was not on my bingo card coming up here, but hello.
Have you met Sylvia?
I'm sorry?
Have you met Sylvia?
Absolutely. We go way back, yes. But essentially in terms of, oh, I see another familiar face. Yes, ma'am, it's a family reunion here. So essentially I'm with Clear Channel Outdoor, and we are an out-of-home advertising company. What I do basically is I'm a media solutions consultant. And so what Sylvia and I have been talking about is just collaborative efforts essentially to promote Fairburn. Live, work, play, right? So it's all about partnerships, whether it be a multifamily developer, right? Speaking about like the opening leasings, like bringing people, the residents, whether it's a restaurant owner. You know, we can help with foot traffic, but essentially it's about visibility, turning visibility into impact. Another thing we're talking about, like for example, schools. Is there anybody here from Georgia Military College? No worries, we'll talk later. But essentially, it's more than just the billboards. We do also have exclusive visibility in the airports. And there's also mobile retargeting, so everybody's cell phone, it knows your behaviors, it knows you. Okay, so if you're interested in marketing, I'd love to have a chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elise. Elise.
It's a lease, like a lease on a property, a lease on a billboard, a lease on a car. It's my name. Very nice to meet everybody. Johnson. Oh my goodness. Nice to meet everybody.
All right, thank you, Elise. So right now, does everyone have a copy of the presentation? Okay, so let's make sure you get a copy of the presentation. If you would, LaTanya, help me with this real quickly. Make sure that we get the folks on this side. Thank you so much. But we want to open the floor for questions. You got a lot of wonderful information from Tommy Stapleton and from Ms. Sandra D. Bethia. Please give them a round of applause. It takes a lot. When you have this much information, if you have hours to do it in as much time, that's one thing. But when you have to condense all of this and kind of pinpoint what you feel like would be most important, they did a yeoman's effort tonight. They kind of gave you a high-level overview of some of the resources. They do this for companies, organizations all throughout the state of Georgia. So we're number one, and they didn't charge us anything. They're out here because they are invested in Fairburn small businesses and business leaders and community leaders doing well. So please thank them again with your applause and appreciation. Now, we want to open the floor for questions. What questions do you have? Access to capital is huge, and so we'll just start that with Tommy. Access to capital is huge, and what we've heard a lot from our small businesses is that there are just so many impediments to getting funding. Operations continues to be a key issue. So what can you say to some of our small business as to start this process and how they can fully engage funding lenders, with it throughout the process to help support their businesses?
I think you really have to look within yourself, right? Look at your business. Would you give your business money? Right? Pretty basic question. Are your processes in place? Do you have standard operating procedures? Can you tell me, the difference between your levels of margin on your product and or service? You have to answer those questions. Is your business have credit? If not, is your personal credit at a place where you can sign for that loan, sign for that investment, right? Are you willing to give up equity in your business for an investment? You're starting out. If I came to you and said, hey, I'm gonna give you 100 grand, but I need 40% of your business, are you willing to do that? Probably so. But you got to really think about that. What am I getting? Are you just getting my money? It's not only where the money, it's where the money's coming from. It's not just, oh, let me cut you a check, but what comes with that, right? Is there expertise? Is there a service that you provide? Are you providing operations? Are you providing CFO services? Are you providing marketing? What are you bringing to my table that's going to advance my business? Because if you're just bringing me money, I can spend that in a week. But my business is still here. I'm not here. Be ready. You have to look within yourself and your business to make sure that you're ready to go. Yes, ma'am.
I got you. So real quick, I'm gonna have a mic for this side and a mic for this side.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I know you spoke about MRR, and Ms. Sanders, you spoke about, track history, what are your numbers and things of that nature. And I've definitely seen Shark Tank. So the real question is, when you guys are considering funding a business owner, how important is actual, the track of revenue, or, is there any consideration like for a brand new entrepreneur, for example, and is there another angle they should speak about when they're talking about their storytelling for grant funding, for example?
Yeah, I think that for grants, the budget part is not so much as the concern is what you're gonna do with the money. Like, yeah, your track record with past money, if you've gotten it, how you used it, how effective that's been, and being able to show that, and have that documented. But the real issue is if you're asking for $1 million, really having a strategic plan, and like if it's over 3 years, how is that going to be? Having a really solid, strong budget. But and the main part of that is really thinking about how much of that budget is really going to help us to get to the results that we are seeking. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at how well does your budget align with what it is you're telling us you're going to do with the results I'm going to get. And then that helps me to answer that question about, is this the best use of my money? And I don't think from a grants perspective, it is helpful if you've had other grants, but I don't think that most grants look at that. What they look at a little bit more is, it's not even what they look at. It's like, do you have anybody in that room that can speak to your work, your history, your vision, your mission, the things you're already doing? Can they go on social media and see you? But if nobody knows anything about that, I think that your ability to produce the outcomes becomes the most important thing from a financial perspective, because we understand we're giving you resources, and so if it gets us to the results, that's the main thing. And you had a last element to that question. I don't know if I answered it. What was it?
You did. And the last question, just for you, you spoke about, when you were talking about the bullets, you spoke about the chances of one getting it. Is that like, are you saying like the community attainability? Is that what you were saying when you kept saying like the chance to get it when you were going over the bullets?
So as a funder, we're asking a question, what's the chances that I'm gonna get the results of this investment, right? And that's like, what type of staff do you have? That's more important than,
Absolutely.
how much money you've gotten in the past, what type of connections you have, right? What type of strategies you have. And then, even if you can say, well, we did a sample, investigation of this, the sample pilot of this tool, and we've seen this kind of success. We got, 50 kids together, so we know they're interested in what we're offering, so we know if we offer it, they're gonna come. That right there, and let's say you just partner with another organization, you partner with the city, and you offer this, and you say, there's interest in here. That makes so much more of a difference than, being able to show dollars and all of that, because now you're showing there's interest there, you're showing you have strategy in place, you have connections and resources, and then your budget does have to align with that, and they do want to see more of the budget going to, the services that you're offering versus staff. I think that would be a big thing when you have too many people having a budget that's primarily staff or resources to support the organization versus providing out puts. That's probably the differences between a for-profit and a nonprofit, is we're going to want to see most of those resources, at least in some way, benefiting the community you're serving, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
For us, I've been told from many funders that we've looked at for our nonprofit, do you have a team? Are you by yourself? That really has played a part in what funding that we have gone after. If you're by yourself, they kind of look at you a little different. Can you carry the load of the mission that you're trying to do yourself, right? And that's why I surrounded myself with a team. I was like, there's not what I'm trying to do. There's no way I can do it by myself, right? So I surrounded myself with a team, and that has made great difference in my nonprofit.
Oh, and just one more thing to deal with that is your board. If you're a
Yes.
nonprofit, having boards make contributions, even if it's only $50 a month, that helps significantly, showing how actively they're involved in it. So you don't have to have had funding from a foundation to show that you have structure and impact in place, and that's another good tool. If you get the right board members, they're gonna, do
That's not your
donations,
cousin, that's
and
not your
then,
sister.
yeah.
It's not your brother. I mean, let's just be, I sit on a couple boards, and the first thing they ask me is, what are you bringing to this party, right? So it's not your cousin, it's not your friend, hey, I want you to sit on my board. What are they bringing to the table to help you advance your nonprofit?
and that's your cousin or
What are
friend,
their
exactly.
connections? What is their, go on LinkedIn, before you get a board member, go on LinkedIn. Who are they connected to? And look for, like she said, make sure you're aligning with companies that have that same vision and that same mission, but find out if your board members or if your partners have those access to resources, those strategic partnerships.
Because if you have a strong board, they're gonna help you with
Oh my
making
God.
those connections.
Yes,
They're
come on.
gonna help you.
Yes.
So, and it's hard to, get to that point with a board. That's not an easy process, but if you do it right strategically, we look at that probably more than like, how much money have you raised? Like, because your board outside of staff can be a very helpful tool in helping you to get to change and impact and helping you get to the number. So we look at that very closely. I didn't talk about that earlier.
Good evening. I didn't get to formally introduce myself, so I'm going to take the time to do that. My name is Kenya DeLeon. I am the CEO and owner of HOD Lux Travel, where we provide you a concierge experience in your private, corporate, and personal lives. So I do thank you for the opportunity to be here. I would like to, for one, address the speakers and tell you thank you so much for your layer of insight and knowledge. It was very insightful and critical for my advancement. So thank you for that. My question is, we know the pitfalls, but I wanted to know when people provide their grants, and even in your business, when you identify candidates that may not be as successful as you may like, what type of feedback is given when you receive those grants that did not make it past that first level? And when you identify potential clients where you had high hopes, what kind of feedback and or mentoring is provided based on what you're finding in our community?
That's a really good question, and I didn't have a chance to go through it in detail here, but when I worked with the funder, it changed everything for me, and that was after we gave out funding. You have millions, not millions, okay, hundreds of applications coming in, and we do a pre-award interview where people can come in if they didn't get funding, and we talk to them, and I remember, this changed everything for me. This young lady coming in, and she was telling me about her business, and she was telling us, it was a group of us, about the services she provided, the connections she had, and it was so compelling. And I go, what? Why didn't you put that in your application? And you know what? She didn't know how to submit a grant application, so what she did was she hired someone. And this was the biggest lesson. And as a result of that, she didn't know how to do it. I was like, you've got to work with them. So when I say no one else can tell your story, I promise you, it was like the way she told her story, the work she was doing, the investment, none of that was in her grant submission. And so we created a program after that, because I'm the funder, where we started training people. Where this is what, so even if you're hiring somebody, you now have the tools to work with them to do that. And so what we do is, you know, if you haven't taken a grant grant training program before, learn the process. Even if you're gonna hire somebody, it's important you know it, because it's your story, your strategy, your outcomes. Nobody can tell it better than you can. That's probably the most important thing. And that changed the system for so many nonprofits, ones we invested in and not. They helped them to scale up significantly because they understood grants for themselves, and now they can work more collaboratively with others. And so it's really guided a lot of my work, and with understanding that, and it was like such an interesting situation to have, if that answers your question. So we do have those questions. Sometimes the information is just not good. Like, you're not ready. You don't have these things in place. Sorry, not sorry, you know? Or, you know, and so you have to have honest conversations with people. And let me tell you what else we experience, and then I'll let you answer, is oftentimes I'm working with foundations who have staff members who become really connected with the people they've given grants to. And I have to come in and say, the math is not mathing here. These people are not producing what they said. Oh, we need to give them more time. They need to do this. I don't see no structure in place that's a great idea, but it's not feasible. So sometimes you do have people like the team, they get really connected with your vision and mission. And sometimes they hire people like me to come in and be like, yeah, nah, we got to keep it moving, right? Because I'm looking at the data. And so that's how we do it. And so, again, those connections are really important, because the more they understand about you, your vision, your mission, nothing is much more important than being able to tell that story. And in person, to that person, if you can, is probably the most impactful thing that I found, if that's helpful. Because you can explain your why in a way nobody else can.
Thank you.
Education. I educate my clients, right? And for my firm, we don't have minimums. Most firms, your Merrill Lynch's, your Chase's, you have to have $250,000 in investable assets just to even talk to an advisor. We don't have that. I have clients that have $5,000 with me. I have clients that have $10 million with me, right? So, but I like to educate, because if you know what I'm doing and you understand what I'm doing, then you understand how your money's moving, right? So the first question I ask my client, I don't care if you've got $10 million or $1,000, do you know the difference between a stock and a bond? Let's start there. We can talk about, let's invest, let's do this, let's do that, but do you know the basics of investing and knowing how money grows? Then I go into the rule of 72 and all of those things. But I like to educate my clients, so you come with me. Your money is my money. I treat your money how I treat my own money, right? So I want to bring you with me and educate you, so you're learning as we grow your wealth together. That's how I operate.
So I have a question for you, Mr. Tommy. You said you have an 8-week program.
Sure.
So how do we get into that program? Because I would just like the knowledge that you shared. Like, I want to be business savvy, how you explain.
So I have two different versions. I have one for families. There's actually a pilot. We have a pilot at Tuskegee University right now, and HBCU students. The one that I'm partnering with Fairburn with right now is for entrepreneurs. I'm going to talk with Ms. Sylvia on how we get you into that. Okay. Happy to have you.
Hey, Ooh, I'm so sorry. Hello, everybody. My name is Micah McMurtry. Hey, Miss Christian. Hey, Miss Pinky. So my initiative is to transport pregnant women to their postnatal and prenatal appointments, because maternal health, is very rough in the South. So I think that I'm interested in doing a contract, but I would just like to know, because I know we talked more about grants today, but with contracts, how does that work with obtaining them? Is it more so like an application, or you apply to like
A contract for grants?
a contract? So say with Medicaid or a hospital or something, type thing like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like, SAM.gov, there's, you can get contracts through the federal government as well. But that's good. Congratulations on helping.
Yes,
Let's start there.
Love the vision.
Yeah.
And there's a whole system in place to get
government-
federal
get-
contracts.
Become a government vendor. Like she said, SAMS.gov is one way to do it, but you got to get into that ecosystem. So to get with Medicaid and Medicare and all those type of programs so that you can get funding to do what you do. But there's a lot of grants out there that will fund what you're doing, believe it. Look for, as she said, you want to find funders that have your same vision. Look for female CEOs.
Okay.
Now, what you look for is veteran-owned businesses.
that
That's
too,
where you
too.
go to if you're looking for, that's where the money is, right? And so both of those are good, but veteran-owned businesses, yeah, especially for federal funding. And I like it, and I would really advise a both-and strategy, not an either-or.
I
And so
agree.
that's where collaboration comes in at. And but, getting at contracts versus grants, it is a nuanced system, but there are resources available there. But the structure is very different than going after grants. And so I love both ed for you.
Thank y'all so much. For real.
So I have a couple questions.
Go ahead, Mama.
Probably a total of 3. They're quick ones. So first, is there a centralized database where businesses can search for grants?
Yes, there is a number of centralized data places.
Which ones would you recommend?
I start with grants.gov. I start there, and then I use a personalized database for people who, like, I'm certified as a grant administrator, and so there's those type of databases I use. But grants.gov is probably like the most structural place you can go to and find really grant opportunities. So, yeah.
Okay,
There's a lot of them out there, but I go there first.
go there first. Okay. Oh, man, goodness, where did I do my other question? Oh, here it is. No, that's forgivable. No, I want to talk about USDA. So which USDA programs are available for someone purchasing land or commercial properties in eligible rural areas?
Real estate days.
Oh, I know. He's like, okay.
Wow. I haven't been in real estate for a while, but I do know that there are USDA programs that you can get 100% financing for.
Right.
Depends on where you're at and what zip code you're in. That plays a huge part in that.
Here comes one more last one on the USDA side.
Okay.
Can USDA funding be used to build or expand child care centers, food processing facilities, ag businesses, or mixed-use commercial developments?
More the first two than the latter. But yes, USDA, if you get with a person that knows what they're doing in that space, you can use USDA funding for any type of real estate in the right zip code. It's all based on zip code. Where you're at, where this project that you're doing, you're building, it's all based on zip code.
So how you know what zip code to build it?
Go to USDA.gov.
Okay.
Just plug in the zip code, it'll tell you if funding's available.
Okay, that's all I got.
You got it.
'Cause I'm all about trying to figure out how we can buy some dirt and build some things in these
All about
food.
that myself. Real estate is a big part of my.
Hey, my goodness! Now listen, now you talking about a realtor. This one right here.
That's who you need to be talking to.
I'm talking in about her. She is phenomenal. She does a whole bunch of real estate. She does that residential side very, very well. She is phenomenal.
If I could comment on your first question, the grant part, if that's not something you're good at, partner with somebody who is.
Makes sense to me.
Don't try to do things that you're not good at on your own. Because it never really, for me, I'll speak for myself, it doesn't really work out well. That's why I have the partners that I have.
Makes sense, makes sense. So, Ms. Perry?
And talking about a good commercial realtor, this was my commercial realtor here. So,
Phenomenal.
so with the program that you offer, is there a platform where current recipients of a lot of grants can be mentors of new applicants?
So my platform that I'm offering is totally new, right? And so, but that's a good question, but it's not like with platform with other nonprofits. I could do that, I can add it, but because I just launched my book, not a lot, but several of the foundations, they have policies in place where you can't start like just dropping names of different foundations you work with. But a lot of them are still my friends. And so what I have agreed to have them do, which I'm excited about, is when we partner with the city of Fairburn,
and even on my platform, is they're gonna come on there and talk to you directly from, like I'm giving you advice as a funder, they're gonna share with you. I think that that's gonna be amazing, because a lot of them still work for foundations in different states and share with you, ask more questions. You can get that information from other places. And that's a really good idea, because I have worked with other nonprofits and bringing them on there to share and just share experiences, because they've gotten grants and stuff. Thank you for that.
And I say that because at least that will also help the acceptance rate or the granting rate improve.
Yes,
scalability.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to add that in.
So we are at time, so we're going to entertain the last two questions, and then we will adjourn because we want to respect everyone's time. But the last two questions, I think Ms. Smith, and then there was a gentleman in the back, a gentleman right there.
My name is David Joyner, and I live in East Point. There are several grant sources. In the last 5 years, I've gotten about $20,000 worth of grants. Last year, I got a $12,000 grant, including lights around the perimeter of my home. The organization is called House Proud in Fulton County, and they especially lean toward veterans. So veterans needing grants, they have the funds at this moment. But in getting the grants, you have to have filed for homestead exemption. And so it's a very good program. I've gotten 2 grants in the last 5 years. And they come in, pedestal sinks, the whatever over the gutters and things of that sort, and left me $500 worth of supplies and all kinds of good stuff. They took care of me.
About that. How did you learn?
Pardon?
How did you learn about that? 'Cause that's amazing.
Inquiring at the city of East Point some years back up there at the city hall, the different grant sources and everything.
That's beautiful. That sounds
Yeah, it's called House Proud, and they got another organization. I'm about to have a huge oak that I planted 40 years ago cut down. Limbs fell off and poked through the roof and stuff. They're gonna cut it down on a grant for $20,000. They got to bring in a huge building crane to take that big boy down.
And then, as you said, this is mainly.
It's a grant, no strings
veterans?
attached.
Okay.
Pardon?
Is it primarily for veterans?
Say again?
Is it primarily for veterans?
I can't understand.
Veterans?
Oh, no, that's for anybody.
Okay.
In the qualifying area in Fulton County on the tree cutting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
And another thing, I might as well say it, even though it might get me in trouble. I turned down 4 of them seminars. About 15 years ago, I discovered a program, not a program, but the manual is called Dissolve Your Debt by Jonathan Hawley. It cost me $99. I ordered it, followed the instruction. 5 years later, the bank called me, said, you don't have to pay your $64,000 second mortgage. And about $20,000 worth of miscellaneous debt disappeared. The manual is called Dissolve Your Debt. It's based on the 1933 law.
Your girl's like, write that down right now.
I'm like,
Dissolve your debt.
Yeah, it's based on the 1933 law. I thought it was a bunch of bull till the bank called me, you ain't got to pay that. And my other bills disappeared. I said, what? And it was real. I told a guy about it 2 years ago that paid off his whole farm. I discovered that our Social Security numbers in my financial research is a bank account number with the Federal Reserve, and each of us, American citizens with a social, have $10 million in that account. The government took the real money out of circulation in 1933, gold and silver, and stacked it up at Fort Knox. And they're going to cut pieces of paper called legal tender. This stuff ain't no good. It can devalue overnight. You won't be able to buy a hot dog. It's a mini contract. But when they took gold and silver out of circulation in 1933, it obligated them to pay our bills. They have to pay it based on the 1933 law. Now, the manual now, I think because our new president, they took it out of circulation, you can't get a hard copy. But it's on Amazon. Instead of $99, it's $10 on Amazon. But that's a lot of reading. It's the way you word your bill that turns it into a money order recognized by the Federal Reserve Bank, and they will pay your bills.
All right.
Thank you.
This is real quick. Can you speak real quick to grants that are coming through associations? I got a $2,000 grant because a lot of people are doing certificate programs. So don't sleep on it. I'm in the Association for Science, and I took a shot at it. We did a one sheet on what it was for, pretty much what it does. So if you guys could speak to that, and it pretty much paid for a $2,500 education, and it was called upskilling. So I don't know if that's something you all do, but what this organization did, they had different kinds, but I thought the upskilling was cool because it was like, what are you doing to add on to what you're already doing? I had never seen it. I took a shot, and I did actually get it, but so look into your associations that you're in because they're offering things like that as well.
I'm gonna have to talk to my association. I don't know them offering nothing like that.
My association
I don't
ain't
like
telling me that.
I am not aware of that. I have to
me
do more
neither.
research of it. But that sounds amazing. There are, a bit just to your point, there are a lot of different organizations, small businesses that offer grants, collaborative opportunities. You'd be surprised at the opportunities out there. And even grants, we didn't even talk about this, for small business owners to help you get started, all of that, women-owned businesses. So there's a lot of opportunities out there across a number of different areas. So don't limit your resources and how you go after resources. And even if you're not a nonprofit and a for-profit, there's probably opportunities if you structure it right where you can get resources for your business.
Yes. Well, thank you again. This has been a wonderful information. Please give our appreciation to our speakers. In the interest of time, we are going to wrap up. Just remember, our next Development Authority meeting is Wednesday, July 29th, and our Fairburn Business Awards ceremony is October 24th. And lastly, our next Business Alliance meeting will be September 17th. It is on your agenda. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we'll make sure. We'll make sure that's shared. Please enjoy the refreshments. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.